righty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, October 21st, and don't look now, but the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers got the longest win streaks in the NFL, or in the NFC right now. And yes, this is my way of trying to distract everyone from the fact that the Chiefs look as dangerous as they ever have, and that absolutely sucks as an NFL fan, that they are they're looking like they're just going to take over the AFC and potentially go just run into the Super Bowl again. So otherwise, Iman, what's going on?
Hey, when the Versace's is on, I'm about my money. I'm about my biz. It's me when you hear that. There it is. Been a great weekend, Austin. I can't complain. Hey, the Ravens had a week off. So listen, I had a good Monday because it wasn't disappointing. I'd have to deal with another loss, even though they reported that Lamar Jackson is still not practicing. So, it's all good, though. So I had a good morning. My Versace's on, so that I made a couple dollars in betting. Got my Traptastic hat on. It's good. A good weekend of football.
That's good. Oh, I love that, man. It was an interesting weekend. We had obviously we're gonna get into it a bit, but that Miami upset, that was fucking crazy. The you called Bama being the SEC team a while ago, and they're back. They're back on top like they never left. And then we just got, a lot of things in the NFL. That Broncos historic comeback, man. Some crazy stuff going on. I think we're going to have a good episode today covering all of it, getting into it a little bit. I got some things on the Packers I need to get off my chest. It's not all bad. They still won the football game. I'm getting sick and tired of this a win's a win shit when you're in dogfights with bad injured teams to the very end is getting pretty damn annoying. But I'm still repping my Packers shirt today, so don't worry about it. Listen, folks, just so you know, if you're watching us on YouTube and you ever can't watch us on YouTube, make sure you go check out the Spotify, check it out on Apple. Make sure you subscribe to the page, get all the reminders when we post our junks, our rants, you know what it is. And then if you're just listening, you ever just want to watch, flick it on the TV. Watch my ugly face on YouTube. Iman's always out here dripping a little bit, so switch off a little bit. Depending on where you're watching, we're everywhere. So make sure to give us a follow. I'm doing the shameless plug right now, but gotta let the people know that we're out there at the show's Chalk Talk Social and the page is Sideline of Sports. But why don't we get into the top 10 and 10 like we do every single Tuesday? I can kind of kick us off per normal. We've been doing good, folks. We're kicking this off and we're getting it under a minute per topic. We're doing our jobs, right? God darn it. So I'm going to kick us off. First one with the top 10 and 10. We got the Broncos. The Denver Broncos complete their historic comeback to beat the Giants 33-32. As I said, it was historic in the sense that it was the largest fourth quarter comeback in history for a team that was blanked in the first three quarters. Cam Scatterboo for the Giants. That guy remains just absolutely careless about other human life. He runs like he's made of pit bulls. Jackson Dart had a little bit of things, but he's still electric. The Giants led 19-0 going into the fourth, and they retook the lead 32-20. There was 3 lead changes in the last 2 minutes. And folks, that game, there was 1,602 games straight with an 18-point lead in the final 6 minutes. That team with that 18-point lead in the final 6 minutes has won up until that defeat that the Giants suffered. Iman, what's next?
Number 2, Jalen Hurts clearly heard my criticism last Friday because what a game. He led the Eagles over the Vikings 28-22 this weekend, and man, listen, you don't have to make football that hard. When you have 2 Hall of Fame receivers, guess what? Just get on the ball, and that's what he did Sunday. Both receivers were over 100 yards passing. Smith had the most yards from any receiver this year. Listen, Jalen Hurts had 3 touchdowns at one point and only had 2 incompletions at some point during the game. Listen, Jalen Hurts, you can make your job so much easier if you just continue to do that. Now he has 11 touchdown passes in the past 4.5 games when he had 0 in the first 2.5 games. So not only has Jalen Hurts dealt with criticism, the offensive coordinator is finally starting to understand. Get the ball to the law firm, Smith and Brown, and you can win.
Big facts. Easy enough. All right, number 3, the Dolphins remain a very strong contender and competitor for the first overall pick, but that's all they're competing for, folks, this year. Let's be clear on that. Tua has back-to-back 3 interception games, and I got to call out the fact that Tua is averaging 1.6 touchdown passes per game since signing his extension in July 2024. That contract, he fleeced the Dolphins into that contract. They allowed Cleveland to score 31 points, and let's be clear, Cleveland has not scored more than 17 points on offense all year this year. Apparently, the Dolphins ownership is too infatuated with McDaniels wearing his capri pants on the sidelines because they announced no changes coming at this time. Obviously, fans are pretty pissed about that with this development. They're inching towards rock bottom right now. Ownership seems content with that. The offense is falling apart. And McDaniels maybe will have a chance to salvage his career as an OC somewhere, but he is an inept, incompetent head coach, and his presser was embarrassing after. What's next?
Number 4, as my guys would say it on the South Side in O Block, the Bears are on a 4-game winning streak as they take down the Saints this weekend, 26-14, after a short week that they just played last week. Listen, to me, the Bears have found their coach. Ben Johnson is that guy, and I know I want to talk about the stats, but I'm not sure if people looking at the pregame and postgame speeches. He has his guys playing hard for him. Now, I'm not sure yet if they have their quarterback of the future. Caleb Williams is still super, super talented, but right now they have been carried by the running game, and that guy, Swifty, I mean, is he part of Taylor's family? Because the way he's toting that rock, I mean, he's putting the Bears on his back. So right now, the Bears are on a 4-game winning streak. Will they keep it going? Not sure. At some point, Caleb's going to have to play like we know he can. But good God, I feel good for my guy, Joey. Joey is having 4 weeks in a row. God damn it.
Yep. Hey, they're pulling it off. Hey, let's keep it in that draft class. Drake Maye, a couple picks after Caleb Williams, continues his MVP season. The Patriots went on, toppled the Titans in a big 31-13 win. But in that game, Drake Maye set the Patriots' new all-time single game completion percentage. He completed 91% of his passes, ousting Tom Brady from a record spot there. He now has over 100 passer rating in 6 straight games, and the throws he's making at every depth, at any spot, just makes his performance and stats look all the more impressive. He's the only quarterback with 2+ touchdown passes with 50+ yards of air time this year, or of air yards this year, which is impressive. His deep ball is looking as good as anyone's has looked in all football this season. And he's the only quarterback in history with this line after 6 games, with more than 150 pass attempts, greater than a 75% completion percentage, greater than 125 passer ratings, and over 150 yards. Been a lot of quarterbacks who've done a lot of things in this league, and Drake Maye is doing some special things as a sophomore. What's next?
Number 6. Number 2, Miami with Mario Cristobal got stunned this weekend by Coach Brom and the Louisville team. Goodness grief, did Carson Beck have one of the worst games of his life? 4 interceptions. 4 interception, and not only they were all bad interception, and I'm not sure if anybody's seen his press conference after, where I just can't respect it as a QB calling his tight end out by saying that last interception wasn't his fault. The tight end ran the wrong route, so he threw his guys under the bus also with the loss. I think Miami still has a chance to just win the ACC. They still have a chance to make the college football playoffs. But I'm telling y'all, Carson Beck is not that guy. He's never been that guy. I'm going to keep saying it. And listen, Coach Brom in Louisville is the top 5, top 10 killer. You got to think everywhere he's gone, he's beating top 10 and top 5 team as a coach. So Louisville is not a bad team. Look for Louisville to might sneak up in that ACC and can win it. But yeah, Carson Beck just doing Carson Beck things. Not a surprise to me. And he has one of the softest, like he got a Tua arm, like he can't throw hard. So listen, I'm not surprised, but we'll see how they finish the year.
Yep, vintage bet game and not the right ways. Anyways, next up, we got Georgia and Bama are firmly back on top of the SEC after taking out number 5 Ole Miss, taking out number 11 Tennessee, who both of them kind of look like the biggest threats to the throne. They both got swiped out this weekend. Look, that NIL money is heating up competition for these middle tier teams across the Big Ten, the SEC. For now, the Kings stay Kings. Gunnar Stockton, Georgia quarterback, had one of the best games you'll see all this year against a really talented team, the number 5 team in the nation. He put up 4 tuds, no picks. Ty Simpson, the quarterback at Alabama, just keeps impressing. Looks like he just keeps getting better. He had a great weekend. They combined for 6 tuds, no interception this weekend against very good opponents. And Alabama, that looks like that's officially the team to beat in the SEC. They took down Georgia. They got the upper hand, and Kings are back like they never left. What's next?
Hey, and Austin, we called both of those games too. So people need to start looking at us and betting. We called the Georgia game and the Bama game.
How we doing?
Yeah, we doing good. Next up on the list, Florida finally fires the bum Billy Napier after winning 2 of their last games. But listen, it hasn't looked good. That team hasn't looked good since he's been there. So I'm glad they finally fired that guy. But it's looking like they're just throwing money away in college football, because between him and James Franklin, the buyout is $70 million to get rid of people, which is kind of crazy because they're both probably going to end up getting a job somehow, some way, somewhere. But it's clearly showing that college football now is either you can win big games, either you can win division titles, or you can even because Penn State made it to the college football playoff, and that's still not good enough anymore. So at this point, you have to win big games or win it all, or these colleges are getting you up out of there. But I'm glad Billy Napier is gone, and I can tell you right now, that will be the next stop for Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is known to lose and leave schools, but that will be the next stop for Lane Kiffin, which I think to me is a better school for him to be able to win better than that Ole Miss. But book it here. Lane Kiffin will be the next head coach of the Florida Gators.
Ooh, I like it. We'll have to come back to that. All right, jump over to baseball for number 9. I got to get this out of my system, unfortunately. The LA Dodgers took brooms to asses to my Brewers, sweeping them 4-0 in the NLCS. Closing it off was an absolutely historic performance from Shohei Ohtani with 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs. They didn't give up a run pretty much all series to the Brewers. The Brewers' bats were as dead gets. And folks, Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player to ever play the sport. Take it in, watch it as much as you can. He's one of a kind. And never been a pitcher throwing 10 Ks, striking out 10 batters and hitting 3 home runs in the same game in a playoff game. That is absolutely absurd. Never been done. Probably never going to happen again. Again, if you can only put up 1 run on these Dodgers, which is what the Brewers did every single game in the series, just don't expect to win a damn thing. Brewers are firsthand. It's unfortunate they took care of problems all season against the Dodgers, walking to the playoffs, and you got Christian Yelich. I'm pretty sure I didn't hear Christian Yelich's name once all playoffs. Definitely not in that series, that NLCS, and that's a problem. That's your star. So definitely an unfortunate way for the Brewers season to come crashing down after what arguably the best regular season they've ever had as a franchise. So a damn shame. A damn shame. What's next?
Last but not least, y'all know I like to put y'all on the new things. Olivia Babcock is a 6'4" junior at Pittsburgh Panther volleyball. This girl broke the ACC record with her game against Louisville on Sunday with 41 kills. If you are listening to me, somebody go just research her. Go look at her highlight. I'm talking 6'4", can jump off the ground. Mike can dunk in the NBA. She is probably one of the best volleyball players in the country as we speak. And what an exciting game that I caught this Sunday. So Olivia Babcock, they won 3-2 over Louisville, and she had a historic day with 41 kills, most in ACC history in one game. That's it.
Rabbit. Nice job. Nice stuff. No, man. I always love number 10 and look forward to number 10 because it's always a surprise to me even of what it's going to be. And it's always something we got bodybuilding. We got girls flag football. We got Kaylee Babcock. We got track and field. Number 10 is the biggest wild card as it gets. Yes. I love number 10.
But who doesn't love women's volleyball? I'm just being honest. I'm not sure how much you watch it. I love it during the Olympic time because it's beach women's volleyball. And you talking about Brazil and all those countries. the DR and
Yeah. You're watching for the play, right? Yeah, you're watching for the elite level of play, right? That's it.
I'm watching for the kills. I'm going for the kills,
Uh-huh.
but I do
Yeah.
like the views as I'm watching. I got to wear my shades when I'm watching, especially when I'm sitting next to my girl.
It's all making sense. No, I only ever watched it with my girlfriend in high school played, and so I was always at those. I was fine.
Before we move on to football real quick, because you said something in the top 10 for 10, and I gotta go back. I know, and I've been hearing this. You call Shohei the greatest baseball player ever after, and granted, I'm not saying he's a unicorn. That was one of the greatest performances ever. But in just a short time, you're saying he's the greatest player in the history?
I mean, when have we ever seen a player that's an elite pitcher, all-star pitcher, and then arguably, while he's been in the MLB, has been the best hitter in the MLB since he's been here. And while he's pitched, he's also been a top pitcher in baseball. That's never happened. I know there's so many greats, and and I know he hasn't had as much run as some of these greats, but when you stack in that he is an all-star pitcher and the best hitter in baseball ever since he's joined the MLB, this is, again, the point is we'll never see a player like him again. We've seen plenty of guys like Barry Bonds who can come in and rip 50 bombs every year. Aaron Judge does it every single season. We've seen guys, maybe not like Kirby Puckett or Tony Gwynn, where he just doesn't strike out. I mean, that's another. We'll probably never see another guy like Cal in terms of playing that many games. We'll probably never see another guy like Gwynn who just never strikes out. But we see like 340, 330 hitters all the time. There's guys across history who do the same things all the time, and they're great for their own regard, but never has there been a player this great. And Babe Ruth, I don't give a hell. That was so long.
Yeah,
I ain't counting no 1930s level baseball. Get out of here with that shit. What Ohtani is doing most likely will never be replicated again.
But that's my thing. Does he have to? I'm just big on longevity, doing it for a longer time. Sure. Does he have to do this? Maybe because I mean, you said Aaron Judge can hit like Barry Bonds, but he's nowhere near the fielder like Barry Bonds was in his peak. Let's be clear. He was a Gold Glove in the field. But so Shohei can just, let's say he retired next year. He can go down as the greatest with this short, because the Dodgers was winning World Series without him. So it's not like he's elevating that team. That team was winning without him. He is a superstar. I just think the greatest of all times is hard. And granted, yes, like you said, he is an elite level pitcher. I just think he has to pitch a little longer to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. And again, but the other thing with him is like he's been incredible in the playoffs. He shows up in the big games.
Yeah.
And what we just saw literally what might go down in history as the most historic playoff game ever played by a single player.
For sure.
Like I said, 10 Ks, 3 home runs. That's never going to happen again.
Yeah, it's never going to be done.
It's never going to happen again. So we're talking about also maybe the greatest single game in the playoffs history ever. And I mean, I know, but it's like, think about Ichiro too. It's crazy. Ichiro didn't even come over to the pros and the MLB until he was like late 20s or like almost 30. Yeah. And then he finished with like the most hits of all time. Like, yeah, I see Ohtani hasn't been around in the MLB particularly long, since 2018. He's 8 years into it, but his numbers when he's playing are just like, you see him with league leading numbers in something almost every single season. Like, he's at the top. He back-to-back season with 50 home runs. He's got 100 plus RBIs in 3 seasons. I mean, his on-base percentage, his slugging, his OPS. He's got 3 straight seasons of the highest OPS in baseball. The last 3 seasons. And he's hitting 100 crap and low balls every single. The guy's amazing. I mean, I get what you're saying, longevity, but the talent, I don't think the talent will ever get replicated.
Yeah.
And that's, if you want to look at it like that way, I guess.
Yeah, unless there's a kid somewhere in like California right now pitching and hitting, saying, hey, that's what they want to be, which we always know. We see these unicorns, then after that we get another one. But hey, listen, I can agree with you. I'm going to have to go think about it, and I'll get back with you Thursday. But great for sure, there's never – I don't even want to say just baseball. I've never seen an athlete take over a game like that in no sports. Let's say football, basketball, maybe Jordan a few times, but when it mattered in the playoff, though, that performance to me was crazy. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and then longevity is fair. Obviously, we got to get in. We always do our little Packers Ravens recap. How about this? Instead of Ravens because they're on a bye, why don't we have Joey come up and give a Bears recap because they're on a 4-game win streak, right? We should at least let a little bit of airtime for the Bears. You know, as a Packer fan, wearing a Packer shirt right now, it's going to hurt me, but I'd love to listen to it. And Joey, like, what are your thoughts on this Bears? Obviously, you know, Iman covered it a little bit in the top 10 and 10, but you know, they needed a big rally against the Raiders, which that's a bad team. They needed that late fumble against Washington. That's a reasonably good team. Beating the Saints doesn't count for anyone. That's like a Alabama going out and paying the worst team in college football to get the easy win on their schedule type of game for anyone. Caleb's not throwing many touchdowns right against the Cowboys. That's different. That's the worst pass defense in football. Everyone's throwing a lot of touchdowns against them. So they're winning without much quarterback contributions. Imagine what they could be if Caleb keeps getting right. What are your thoughts on the Bears right now, Joey?
Well, I am drinking the Kool-Aid. I have to right now. They haven't won 4 games in a row since 2018. So it's been a lot of trips to Soldier Field in the cold, leaving in misery. And to be fair, they were 4-2 last year and lost 10 straight. So I gotta be a little more positive this year that the 4-2 will stick. But
better coach.
Yes. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway. This is a team that's learning how to win. And I know that's cliche on a lot of shows that talk about them and what have you, but this team last year would have lost every single one of these games. They didn't have the infrastructure, the coach, the talent, of course, but the ability to turn something into a win. And I have to take it with a grain of salt when I criticize, because you know, this is a week-to-week sport that you really dive in on. But the reality is, this is early in their season in the first year of a new head coach, right? So everyone's learning how to play together. This line couldn't play at all in the beginning of the year on offense, and they had no running game, and they still found ways to win, to where now you're a couple weeks into the year, almost halfway actually, and your line's working. And DeAndre Swift, out of nowhere, who everyone thought was a cast-off from Ben Johnson's old team, who he didn't want, is now racking up yards and touchdowns. And so they're just starting to get in a rhythm here. And like you said, if it's a story, a tale as old as time in this city. If the offense can get going, they'd be unstoppable. I think what's most interesting is the defense, because in my opinion, they are still lacking heavily on the defensive line in terms of pressure, but they've been able to take away the ball almost every game, including multiple times last week, the week before, and it's like, wow, if they get the line, you know, more people there, they're already getting the takeaways, right? So it's kind of this I'm hoping a sleeping giant that keeps getting better and adding as they keep going.
I'm kind of happy you said about the takeaways. This is crazy. The Bears have the highest interception percentage in football right now. It's not even close. They're intercepting 5% of plays. The Bears are intercepting. The next closest is actually the Jaguars at like 3.5%. So they're creating a lot of turnovers. Their EPA per play on defense is 6th in football, right? Their defense is kind of working. Their offense is very middle of the pack, but they're doing it again. Caleb isn't contributing much besides that Cowboys game. And then, or at least lately he hasn't been. And DJ Moore is hardly involved. Like, your best.
Well, that's the biggest thing too, right? And I think that's what's so interesting is I think probably going into the year you had this thought of Ben Johnson's coming in, Caleb Williams growing, and you got DJ Moore at the top of this list. And it's almost like they're reverse engineering this offense without him. It's Rome Odunze that's top. It's Luther Burden that's top. It's oh my God, I can't think of his name. Zacchaeus. Thank you. Yeah. Zacchaeus that is at the top here, that is really switching. You've practically benched Roschon Johnson as a secondary running back on this team, where he was supposed to be your power guy, and you have a rookie in Kyle Monangai that's offsetting DeAndre Swift. It's a different looking offense than I think everyone thought you were going to see in 2025. That's now confusing the league a little bit and working. Not to the top, but it is doing enough to win, and that is the biggest currency in the NFL, and in a division that I think you thought was easily Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. there's a lot more parity, and whether you're a fan or not of my team, that makes it a hell of a lot more fun when you got a lot of competition here that can go any which way. So I'm stoked. It's fun. It's nice going to games and coming home happy versus being a sad fan in the car.
Yeah,
man,
I know it is. I'm gonna tell you.
We got the Ravens next week.
And listen, listen, Joey. Don't take it too far now. We're gonna listen. We gonna get one, but I'm gonna tell you the greatest thing to y'all defense that was added, and this is why I was off the Cowboys train. They let Al Harris go, the DB coach. I don't know if y'all follow this guy. When he was in Dallas, we had the most takeaways as far as DBs. He is the greatest defensive coach who teaches taking away the ball, and we let him go. He's in Chicago. That's why when they let him go, when Dan Quinn left, I'm saying make him the D coordinator. Just keep him there, pay him. They couldn't. He's in Chicago. That's one of the reasons that y'all are just taking away the ball, because everywhere he goes, they take away the ball. So that's good. But hey, Joey, we got to put some push-ups or something on the game. Now, granted, if Lamar does not return, you got to give me some points.
I agree.
You got to give me
allow
some points. So
I need him for fantasy anyways. So I need him to return.
Yeah,
I mean, and they're doing it without Jalen Johnson, one of the best corners in football. Been on IR since week 2. Tyreek Stevenson just got hurt. So they're doing it, right, man? And that Al Harris thing. Oh man, we're clamoring for him to come to Green Bay when he was on the market, and when he went to
matters.
Chicago,
people don't think about it. Coaching matters.
When he went to Chicago, it felt like a knife in my heart, man. Al Harris, Packers legend, and what he was doing in Dallas. I mean, people were calling it out then, like this is an Al Harris, and this is not a Deron Bland thing. Deron Bland's coverage actually kind of sucks, but they just know how to be in the right spot at the right time.
Since he's been gone, they've been toast.
Not the same.
Yeah,
not the same.
Both of them, him and Diggs, been terrible.
Facts. Big facts. And the Bears have taken it right in. It looks like the Cowboys defense in terms of interception. Like I said, they're smoking everyone in the interception rate right now. And it's an Al Harris effect. I mean, this is a D coordinator in the wings. He is not long away from a defensive coordinator job. Good for him, man. I love it. He was a great player for Green Bay. Absolutely awesome. I love the dreads look. One of the OGs with dreads back in the day. Him and Mike McKenzie. Come on. Just a great look. I mean, sorry. I mean, Joey, Ravens coming up. That should be another. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to say anything mean to Iman, but it's probably another win.
No, it's probably gonna be another win. I mean, because Caleb's got. I'm telling y'all, you can't keep talent down too long. Caleb's gonna have a couple big games coming soon, because now that the running game is gone, people are really gonna start putting 8 and 7 in the box. Caleb is super talented, and granted, Ben Johnson wants to run the football, but Caleb's going to have a couple games where you're going to be like, oh, shit, I see it now. I hope it's not next week, but it's coming.
Yeah, and as much as we don't like to admit it, no one plays in the preseason anymore, right? So these first 3-4 games of the year are kind of still that let's try things out. Now, if you get in a rhythm, you get through that gauntlet of the first quarter of the season with a decent record. The Bears got through it at 2-2. They've been able to build. So it's going to be fun. And it's weird because the schedule is so funny. Like we always predict before the year, right? Oh my God, the Bears are going to play Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow back to back. Well, now that's changed. I mean, Flacco had a great game last week, but these injuries make it so interesting too. Of now your AFC North hell that you were supposed to face is now different. And can you take advantage of that? Are you a team that can take advantage of the situation you're in and win? And like you said, Iman, the culture change, the post-game speeches, there's something different now with the Bears and Ben Johnson. And then the Cowboys got Eberflus, and we switched. He took their defense back. So
everywhere he goes, it's a curse.
Oh, my God.
Clock management, no timeouts, and an evil defense. So,
yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, that's their Bears recap. I mean, good for you. I'm happy you guys got your 4. This NFC North is brutal, man. It's brutal. Every team, any team can win that division still. The Lions will probably win in that division. I think they're going to beat the Bucs, right? Yeah. Lions are probably winning that division at this point. Packers can't get out of their own goddamn way yet.
Listen to Austin. Finally, your guy's earning his money. If Micah Parsons when it matters, when the game is on the line, can play like he played Sunday, you guys are going to be – the offense is going to click at some point. But if he can do that, I don't see y'all not beating everybody because listen, you got to think Jared Goff, a statue.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, not so much, but we know pressure rattles him. So
mistake prone still.
Yeah. So if Micah Parsons can play like that, which I don't think he will, but if he can play like that, Austin, I think y'all are still at the top because y'all are so talented. Yeah. And just winning is winning. I've always said in the NFL, winning is winning.
And that's where I'm about to push back because I am so effing sick and tired of a win is a win when you are in dogfights with bad teams to the very end, teams that you should have no problem taking care of business on. This team is in a fine spot. I'll give you that. Despite the struggles, Reed hasn't been healthy. Christian Watson hasn't played yet, right? Zach Tom got hurt, and that's the highest paid tackle in football. Despite the struggles, despite not being able to get out of their own way, despite terrible play calling decisions coming, especially on third downs, they have one of the highest success rates on offense in football and have the third best EPA, expected points added per play, on offense. So despite everything, I don't want to hear the winning is winning shit. Because if you're playing and you're barely scraping by against bad teams, to a point, you are what you are. You can barely beat bad teams. And look, at this point, when I see what I'm seeing with the Packers, the product, if I had to, hey, put the Packers against anyone in the playoffs who's a playoff team, not feeling great about it, we can barely scrape by. Jacoby Brissett completed 14 straight passes on us. Jacoby Brissett should be the Cardinals starting quarterback when Kyler's healthy, to be honest with you. But, look, Detroit looks better. Dallas's offense looks better. Horrible defense. The Buccaneers look better. Rams look better. Seahawks kind of ish the same, but they're playing really damn good. Eagles look better. There's plenty of teams who look better than the Packers right now altogether. And let's be clear. I mean, Jordan Love is still that guy. He's still playing at an extremely high level. And once again, he's completing a lot of the big passes in the big moments on third downs, including a huge tide-turning fourth down completion to Tucker Kraft this week against the Cardinals, right on the sideline that really swung the momentum in the Packers' favor. So Jordan Love is balling out. He's having an impeccable season. That game against the Cardinals, there were so few downfield passes. This is a bad secondary, and everything is just short game. Let's go sideways. Let's dink and dunk as if we don't have one of the best downfield passers in football, and if we don't have Romeo Doubs, who's a 4-3 guy, Matthew Golden, who's a 4-2 guy. I mean, Dontavian Wicks isn't even a part of the offense anymore. But, and Josh Jacobs, he's having an incredible season. He's got 8 touchdowns, second most in football behind only Jonathan Taylor. So, he's having a great season. So there's a lot of things that aren't working and they got right. But the defense for me, and the last thing I'll say on the offense, is it kind of feels like it's being ran by a defensive head coach right now. It feels like a defensive play caller is calling the shots because the play calling doesn't make sense. The time management on offense is weird and bad. It doesn't feel like a guy who's a great play designer is calling the offense. Because LaFleur is a great play designer. That's no doubt. But he is a bad play caller. I think that is being shown more and more. And he's always been kind of piss poor with time management. So there's things, man, with LaFleur that aren't really that great. But like I said, winning is winning to an extent right now. And that defense, I'm not sure. But, I mean, I can't take it with the third down play calling anymore. It's been so bad. You get 3rd and 2 and we're running sideways or we're passing sideways. We refuse to just go the fuck up field on third down, on 3rd and short. It's blowing my mind. And, again, LaFleur, great designer, great culture carry, but this offense is too talented to just seem like they are not clicking on offense. Listen to this. This is the part that gets me. Against the Cardinals defense and against the Bengals defense, both of those games, the Packers entered the 4th quarter with 1 touchdown scored. That is embarrassingly bad against 2 embarrassingly bad defenses. That's a problem. I don't care how you win those games. If you got 7 points going into the 4th quarter or 10 points or 13 points going into the 4th quarter against 2 bad defenses, what's going to happen when you got to start facing the really good ones in the playoffs? You're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to go whoop, dog walk.
I'm not sure, though, Austin, because the only thing I can give Matt LaFleur just the crutch on this one is when you're playing bad teams, when do you want to work on things that you know you need to work on? Because at some point, they're going to put 2 over top. They're not going to let Golden and your speedy guys, Dobbs, just take the top off in the playoffs. So I think he's fallen under, hey, let's work on some things we probably going to have to do in the playoff against the bad teams. So even if it doesn't look good, we can still walk away with a win because these teams aren't good. I really think he's trying some things out because we know y'all can take the top off of anybody. I mean, y'all proved that earlier. When y'all added Golden with that speed and Dobbs with that speed, we know, and I mean, Jordan Love is one of the most gifted arms in the league right now. Y'all can take the top off. I think he's just working on some things, and I do agree his time management is bad, but you talk about an elite play caller. We talk about he could have me at quarterback, you at quarterback. We're going to win some playoff. And the people you named, to me, I think y'all have the better quarterback, the better defensive star, and the better coach. Cowboys defense terrible. Y'all have the better coach. I think Dak is playing a little better right now. Buccaneers, I think y'all have the better coach. Y'all have the better defensive superstar. Detroit, I think y'all have the better coach. Just me. I think y'all have the better quarterback. Defense, I think their defense may be close, but y'all have the better defensive superstar. So I think when the time comes, just the better coach and the better quarterback and the better defensive superstar will show. So be patient, Austin. Just be patient.
It's just difficult when we go back-to-back years now of the stars, your best players not getting as involved than they should be, right? Like that game, Golden had 3 catches on the first drive. He finished the game with 4 catches.
Yeah,
that happened all of last year, and it's incredibly frustrating. Tucker Kraft, not only is he one of the best tight ends in football, he's one of the all-around best pass catchers and run-after-the-catch guys in the league. And he has, I think he's got one game with 5 catches right now. He's barely getting the ball. He had 5 catches in that game. You saw Trey McBride on the other side with like 9 catches, 2 touchdowns. There's no reason that's not Tucker Kraft every single week. You got the guy at tight end. Do what I see Jake Ferguson every week, 2 catches or 2 touchdowns, at least a touchdown. Freaking Trey McBride pretty much every week, at least a touchdown. We're lucky to get Tucker Kraft 4 catches in a damn game. It's just, again, he's a great designer. The play calling is just questionable. And again, Dontavian Wick's not even part of it of this. And I don't know why the constant trend that comes up is it's been a lot of conservative stuff going on. And the defense, I'm a little concerned about. I'm not going to lie. Micah Parsons, amazing game. 3 sacks, career best, 10 pressures, 4 tackles for a loss. He was good against the run. He beat up bad offensive tackles, like you said he does. But this defense right now is 15th in NFL in EPA per play and 10th in success rate. But that, again, is with Micah contributing. So what is this defense? If they're middle of the pack on a lot of things, really good run defense right now. I think their pass defense is up there as well. But again, they're putting up these middle of the pack numbers against who? Joe Flacco twice, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Cardinals. They got smoked on defense by the Cowboys. So when you see that they're middle of the pack in defense and you consider who they've been playing right now in the last 4 games, not exactly encouraging. That's with Micah Parsons, right? You know, Rashawn Gary is playing his best football in a while. But how much is that is due to Micah Parsons? Gary had a huge play against that. Fumble sack was a massive play, but he certainly wasn't playing this well last season without Micah. And granted, it was a defensive scheme thing most likely. Nate Hobbs on the perimeter. Oh my. It is the worst damn cornerback play I've ever had to watch is Nate Hobbs on the perimeter. Why the fuck do we got a slot corner consistently just getting burnt on the perimeter and we do nothing about it? Carrington Valentine is sitting on the bench for a 2nd straight year. Carrington Valentine is getting blocked from a guy who was worse than him. Last year was Eric Stokes playing like crap, and it was Valentine on the bench. This year it's Nate Hobbs getting just burnt every freaking play. The pass rating against Nate Hobbs this year is like 100-something. He's getting roasted. And meanwhile, Carrington Valentine's hardly getting any tread, right? And Nate Hobbs, I said it, he's just inverse Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon was dog water in the slot, bumps outside, he's much better. Nate Hobbs, that is a slot corner. His best ball's in the slot. Bump him outside. This guy is dog shit. Like, send him to the gulag. Send him somewhere to fight for his fucking roster spot at this time. It's garbage. So, again.
Hey, you can have my Ravens, Austin. You want them? I mean, Austin,
I expect greatness. I just had this.
I'm laughing because you're ranting after a win. And I'm like, listen, horseshoes is the only thing, and maybe a Brandy song where almost is like good. Y'all won. I'm telling you, in the NFL, it is hard to get W's every week. The Ravens We are listen. You're talking about dog water and stinking it up, brother.
That's one player. That's one player.
I'm saying you can have my Ravens if you want them. I'm telling you, I'm walking around trying to be as positive as possible. You are after a win. You're like this. Goodness fucking grief.
Well, no, I get it. I think the thing that's frustrating is it's the same thing year after year after year that holds the Packers back under the floor is still not getting solved, still not looking different. And that's what's really frustrating. It's the same problems, man.
Do y'all need new leadership? I mean, that's a question I'm asking. Do you think he's the guy that can get it done?
I don't think there's a better option. No, I don't think there's a better option. I've always been a LaFleur defender. Again, and people don't like the excuse, well, if he's on the free market, he's gone in 3 seconds. I was like, no, that's actually a great excuse. That's a testament of how damn good he is if Packers let him walk, 31, 30, 29 teams are going to be in line like that to get their bite at LaFleur as their head coach. He's very good. I think the frustration is it's the same problems over and over again. They said it on the broadcast. Everyone says it. The Packers just shoot themselves in the foot and cannot get out of their own damn way. Again, we're talking about a win, but we're talking about a dogfight where we barely beat a bad team on a backup quarterback with their fourth-string fucking running back. We couldn't beat Flacco with the Browns. We barely beat Flacco with the Bengals. So we're talking about wins with a very talented football team that were barely scraping out wins against very bad football teams or just objectively worse football teams. So for me, it's just like good teams should be able to take care of the bad guys with no problem. The Packers are barely scraping by against the bad teams. And that's the frustrating part. Is like you watch these games and it's stressful to the very last play, man. We're counting on this guy who was off the streets. I mean, Haversick, that kicker, man, 61-yarder. This guy was in street clothes 3 weeks ago on a Sunday, and he's now got the Packers' all-time record for a field goal distance, 61 yards. How cool is that shit, man?
That's crazy, yeah. That's
3 weeks ago, he was watching the game, ready to apply to be a teacher or something like that. And now he's got the Packers.
He's a hero.
How cool is that? That's the coolest thing. So I'm sorry for my maybe unwarranted frustrations, but it's just one of those things, man. It's the same stuff over and over. They can't get out of their own way, and it's just barely scraping by bad teams, man. Like that's just not when you're supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. If you're barely getting past bad teams, there's things to work out. Like I said, I'm happy they're winning. Even while it's ugly, they're winning. They're putting up the results. They've been middle of the pack, if not better, at least in everything. So that's great. I think this team will find their way. I'm still confident in that. I'm still confident in LaFleur. I love the pieces they got. I think they'll be able to hang with anyone down the stretch. I think they should be able to win any game in the playoffs.
Listen,
any given Sunday.
The Packers is still in the top of the good teams. Like you say, the cream of the crop teams. The Packers are right up there. So you're good right now. They're still in the top with all the rest of the big dogs, the Colts, the Eagles, the Bucks, and all of that. So you're good. Hey,
I said to get off my chest what I can't put in 140 characters on Twitter.
You don't want the Packer players to hear this. Like, come on, Austin.
No, they can hear whatever the fuck you want. Get motivated, boys. Let's go out there and kick some ass.
Hey, listen, I feel you. And they're listening because every time we call somebody out, they play the next game like their fucking job depends on it. So it's all good. I feel you.
We're winning. There's some things that are really damn confusing still. They gotta figure some stuff out. But yeah, at least they're winning. Like I said it 2 weeks ago last week. At least we're winning these games, and we're not going to have to like come from way behind. We're still atop of the NFC North with the Lions and even the Bears, which is crazy. A lot of good things. Still a lot of confidence. There's just like, no team is perfect. The Packers are just, high demands. We're in year 7 of Matt LaFleur at this point. We're in year 7. It's time for these things that are continuously problems to get right. And that's where the frustration comes, is that that's not changing. But you talked about some cream of the crop teams right there. Why don't we talk about some cream of the crop teams that kind of expand on what we've been talking about? So we got some teams that got 5 wins, that got 6 wins. And we're kind of curious, been looking at it like, who's got the best thing going right now? Who that they can maybe carry this on, right? There's a lot of teams we could talk about. The Colts, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Buccaneers, the 49ers, the Rams, and now the Lions. Iman, to you, Is there a team that you feel like these are the guys that's got the best thing in football going right now that I can see this, definitely keep trucking on?
So I was actually watching the game early this Sunday, which I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna start at the NFC. This to me, it's gonna be a scary team that everybody's kind of forgetting about. But the LA Rams with Matt Stafford, and listen, what they did this Sunday without Puka Nakua, with Devontae Adams starting to get his little relationship with Stafford, but I mean, in their D line. You talking about get after a quarterback, get after a running back. They're going to be a scary team in the NFC that I think is just flying right under the radar while everybody's talking about the Bucs, the Lions, the Eagles, which the Eagles proved that they're still gonna just gonna vie for a championship because they're just so talented. But I'm telling you, my team that I think, not my team, but the team that I think is going to shock a lot of people come playoff if they can stay healthy is the LA Rams. That game, because Jaguars are good. I think I've never believed in Trevor Lawrence. I always thought he was overrated. But I think the talent that they have and the coaching that they have right now, because, I mean, they were outgained in LA this weekend, but I just don't think they have the right quarterback. So I do think the Jaguars was a good team, and they made them look like they was playing against JV. So I'm going to go with the Rams in the NFC and the AFC. Defense win championships.
No, Rams is the NFC. Rams is the NFC.
Yeah, the NFC, but I'm saying for AFC,
I
say defense win championships. I'm going to go with the Broncos because, I mean, that comeback this weekend was kind of like I've never seen 19 points in the fourth quarter. That means you got to get stops, and then you got to have a quarterback with some nuts under him. So I think the Broncos with that defense is going to make a run because I just believe in defenses win championships, and when you got a quarterback that can just – get it done anyhow. I'm going with Broncos in the AFC.
And you're to the Rams point, that defense is stifling right now. One of the best defenses in football. And like we just talked about their offense being so damn good. Not even the fact they got one of the best defenses in football right now. That Rams team is scary, man. In that division, right? The 49ers, somehow with all the injuries, I mean, how the hell they got all these wins with Mac Jones / Brock Purdy / no Ayuk / no Kittle / no Bosa / no Fred Warner / keep the list going. Everyone's hurt on that team. So, I mean, shout out Kyle Shanahan. You want to talk about a coaching job this season.
For sure.
Kyle Shanahan needs to be at top of the list right now for Coach of the Year for what they got going with all the injuries. So, I think the Rams is a very fair one. That team's been, Matt Stafford is playing like he's in his prime right now. He's been lights out good. For my team, I think, thinking about this one, the Colts are a very easy team to pick right now. They're playing like the best team in football, despite their offense has been relatively successful, or the offenses have been relatively successful against their defense. Teams are actually converting a successful play 47% of the time, which is fifth worst in football against the Colts defense. So the team I have to roll with right now is the Patriots. Is got the best thing going of these 5 and 6 win teams. They have the best quarterback playing right now. I mean, Drake Maye is playing the best quarterback in football right now. And what I like about the Patriots and why I think this is the most sustainable is they got an easy rest of season schedule. Say what you will about their strength of schedule so far. Really only playing a Steelers defense that's been good, a Bills pass defense that's all right, but so not only has Drake Maye entered the violently good at throwing footballs tier of quarterbacks right now, but their rest of season schedule, they got the Browns, they got the Jets twice, they got the Burrow-less Bengals, they got the Dolphins, and then they're going to have the Ravens with Lamar, but still the Ravens defense. That's 6 games that they should win. That's 11 wins. Yeah, that's 11 wins minimum. And after that Bills win on the road, they look like they could beat anyone. When Drake Maye is playing like that, I'm telling you, this is at minimum 11-win football team with a guy who should be number 1 or 2 in MVP voting right now as a sophomore in the freaking league is nuts. So I'm going with the Patriots on this one. And, if we're flipping it to the NFC side, like you said, I think, honestly, I would agree with you on the Rams thing. The Eagles, they'll finish fine. Bucks will be all right, even though they got the injuries. The 49ers, I don't know. I still haven't even seen the real 49ers yet, but that Rams team is scary. I think the Rams are still my favorites for the NFC right now. But Patriots, man, I think they got the best thing going in football of these 5 or 6 win
I
teams.
think the Patriots are going. I'm just not a big believer in these young quarterbacks because I just understand when the season gets late, when they get more tape on you, playoff football is a little different.
Yeah.
So I want to see Drake May, but I mean, Coach Vrabel is a tough guy, so you got to understand that he's just putting toughness in him. And
Yep.
Drake May is playing lights out, which is crazy because I keep telling people everybody didn't believe in him. They said it was a forced pick, but clearly somebody in that organization knew what he was capable of. And just imagine if you can get him one more receiver, maybe another kind of slot guy, a number 2, another tight end. I mean, get him just maybe one more weapon. I think they need one more legitimate weapon because I don't think they have a. Like I said, I think Diggs he was a 1 at first in the beginning of his career, but he's getting older, so I don't think he's a legit top 10 one right now. Maybe he's coming in maybe 14, 15, but if you can get him one more, shit, Drake May might. I mean, woof, that's gonna be scary.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Diggs is balling out. So Diggs leads and he's playing in the slot. They moved him in the slot ever since. He's just been lights out. He's leading the division, the AFC North, right? Is the East? AFC East. Yeah, sorry, my bad. He's leading the AFC North in yards. Their defense has 3 of the 4 top sack producers in the AFC right now. And their defense is 14th in EPA per play right now. So they've been solid across the board, even on the other side of the ball. I agree. You know, I do like Keyshawn Boutte. Like he's looking like he's going to continue to have a breakout season with the way Drake May's throwing the ball. Drake May's getting the ball to Stephon Diggs. You know, if freaking Ramondre Stevenson could just hold on to the damn ball. And I want to see Travion Henderson really start taking over that backfield. I think they're going to have a really exciting 1-2 punch once Travion Henderson really starts getting going and they can really get this run offense a little bit more cooked up because it's not as good right now. That team has got a lot of potential, but there are some teams that got 4 wins right now that might be able to swap them out. So let's go over some of these 4-win teams, the best of the rest. Which of these 4-win teams do you think is going to be able to rise to the top, Iman? So we got a couple. And you know what's crazy? The fucking Panthers have 4 wins. The Carolina Panthers got 4 wins right now. What? So we got the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Seahawks, Packers, Bears, Steelers, Jags. We'll count the Cowboys with the tie because they're looking like their offense has been so damn good. So I think we have to take them very seriously. But they got the tie. They only got 3 wins. And then, like I said, the Panthers. So there's a lot of arguments to be made. We can go down and kind of talk about which one, but who you got to feel on anyone right now?
So week in and week out, everybody knows I'm actually not a Kansas City fan, but just Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is starting to show people who they really are, what they really are. Rice got back this week, and they wasted no time with getting him the football. So that would be my obvious pick, but I don't always like to do obvious. So I'm going to go in Seattle because I think, listen, Sam Darnold is playing some of the best football. And granted, he had a great year with Minnesota last year, but I think he has less weapons in Seattle, and he's starting to, jump to the front and saying, hey, listen, I can carry an organization. And out of all the defensive coaches that I respect that guy in Seattle, McDonald. He's a young guy. He's always kind of calm, but he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. So I'm going to go with Seattle. And plus, I know that's a tough place to play. When they're home, that's a tough place to play them there. So hopefully they can win enough games to get some home field. But I'm going with Seattle because I think Sam Darnold is playing the best football of his life. Jackson and Jigba, oh my God, he's starting to show people why Ohio State receivers are just the greatest ever because, I mean, he's starting to really emerge as a superstar. And like I said, I also think that defense is going to continue to keep biting because they have one of the best coordinators at the head coaching, in the league. So like I said, everybody knows Chiefs until people just take the Chiefs out. That's just who I'm going with. But when I'm not picking them, I'm going to say Seattle. And honestly, I would have said the Cowboys. Now, I'm being honest. This hurt me. That offense is scary, though, Austin. I'm not going to lie.
It is.
With CeeDee Lamb back, I mean, Ferguson playing at the best he's ever played, and Dak
Yep.
Prescott. I watched this guy since he's entered the NFL. This is the best I've ever seen him play. And Brian Schottenheimer, for some odd reason, just knows what to call. And George Pickens having the greatest season he's had.
Yep.
That's a scary offense. Now, if they can beat in any game and have the ball last, they're going to have a chance to beat anybody. But that fucking defense, I'm not going to lie to you. Whatever's the best high school team in Washington, I'm pretty sure they can score on that fucking defense. So that's why I can't go with them. But goodness grief, that offense looked crazy. And I hate to say it because fuck the Cowboys, fuck Jerry Jones, fuck all the people who couldn't bring another championship back. Tony Romo, fucking Dez Bryant, all of y'all, fuck y'all. Listen, fuck y'all. But listen, that's a scary offense. So who knows what they're going to be able to do. So, yeah.
Sounds like, and Javonte Williams. I don't even know if you said Javonte Williams. He's having a great season. Resurgence. Amazing. I mean, the thing, I'll start with your Seahawks quick, right? They are getting it done. Their run game has been lackluster. They got the second lowest EPA. And you know, a lot of EPA talk today. So thank you, Sumer Sports, SUMER Sports for the data. Sumer Sports, a lot of great NFL data if y'all ever need it. But JSN has become a superstar in front of our eyes. The Vikings got to be regretting letting Sam Darnold go right now. Even though Carson Wentz, man, for the Vikes, not bad, not great, but not bad. JJ McCarthy, man, I feel like Trevor Lawrence. I feel the same way about JJ. I just don't think it's going to happen. The thing I got a problem with the Seahawks, though, is they got a Rams problem. They got a 49ers problem. If those two teams, I mean, the Seahawks won't make the playoffs if both those teams finish ahead of them. It's just not going to happen. So they got a problem with the 49ers and Rams. And the 49ers probably got their best ball still to come is a scary thing. They're not healthy at all right now. And as much as I'm not a Brock Purdy believer, I don't think Mac Jones is anything special. Like, again, with how that offense is working right now as is, they don't got to be great. They just got to operate. And that's very doable. So, and then the Cowboys, like you said, man, that offense is nasty. But I seen the Packers try to win by hanging 40 points a week. They never got a Super Bowl out of it. Their defense was better than this one too. So I just don't see the Cowboys. Again, when you got one of the worst defenses in football, that we're talking about the most pass yards allowed in football right now, and the second most rushing yards allowed in football right now, the fourth worst EPA per play right now. That ain't gonna win you playoff games. It might win you one in the wild card, but sure as hell ain't winning you deep into the playoffs. I don't care if you chalk up 40, you're gonna give up 40. And like you said, who's got the ball last kind of thing. Thankfully for them, they got the best kicker in football. Brandon Aubrey can hit from 70.
Oh shit, yeah.
That guy's a weapon. With his leg needs to be a registered weapon. That thing is dangerous. And for me, you know, with these other teams like Steelers, I'm just, they don't produce enough on offense. They're not an explosive offense by any means. They only got one receiver. Their depth is shit outside of that. And, their defense is getting exposed. The Bears, I'll keep an eye on the Bears. I can think the fact that they're winning and finding ways to win without much quarterback contributions right now is definitely a testament to Ben Johnson and that offense and what they got going. The defense is playing really, really well. And when you can win the turnover battle, that's generally speaking, going to help you win football games. And the Bills, to me, man, I'm a big, if I have to cheer for an AFC team, it's going to be the Bills. I think they got the best quarterback in football. I still think Drake Maye is playing the best right now, but I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football. You can disagree. I think you probably would say it's Mahomes or.
Yes. Josh Allen keeps getting this hype every year.
I love Josh Allen.
And listen, I'm not saying he's not, but I think he gets too much hype. He doesn't get the same criticism that Lamar gets, that Dak gets. He doesn't win the games when they need to be won. He's back to turning over the ball. I just don't agree with him being the best quarterback in the AFC right now. That's all.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think Mahomes, they still made it deep, but Mahomes had a down year last year. I mean, I think Josh Allen, what he gives you is he's a better runner than Mahomes. Mahomes got the edge as a passer. Allen's got the runner with his legs. Allen's got an insane arm, a cannon. So they're I would say they're very even. It's depending on the fan, that's 1-2. Lamar Jackson, 1A, 1B, 1C, you pick where they go essentially, right? I mean, depending on the week almost. But their defense has not been good against the run. They have very low quality safety play. And there's already talk about their DC changing or at least stepping aside. Bobby Babich has not been good for them at DC. So I mean, they got some problems right now to work out. The Chiefs are, I feel like I got to agree. And in terms of what I'm talking about, the best of the rest and which of these teams, these 4-win teams are going to rise at the top, it's hard to not take the Chiefs, right? They look as dangerous as they could get, man, with Rashee Rice back right away. It was instant connection. It was instant dominance. I'm telling you, if they started this season with all their guys, like Worthy didn't go out, they had Rice from the start, we're probably talking about perhaps an undefeated team right now. And I think it's that simple. They look that good. Their defense has been super stingy again. And I'm going to just finish this one on my Packers. They have talent everywhere, like I said. They're arguably one of the most talented rosters in football. When you got Reed healthy, when Watson comes back, and considering the talent, they got an all-pro pass rusher, they got an all-pro safety. Gary is a freaking beast. Edgerrin Cooper looks like he's ascending to be one of the best middle linebackers in football. Quay Walker's playing out of his mind as another outside linebacker. I mean, and on the offensive side, you got dudes everywhere that can make plays on offense. I think that you're talking about maybe the most talented roster in football with the Packers. But they have a Lions problem, man. The Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs against the Buccaneers, 2 touchdowns, 218 yards. He smoked the shit out of a really good team. And that Lions team, you want to talk about another really talented team right there. That's a really talented team. So kind of like the Seahawks have a Rams 49ers problem in terms of rising to the top. Packers kind of got a Lions problem. I think the Lions are still overall the better team right now. But, I'll pick the Chiefs or the Packers are my 2 teams that, AFC team Chiefs, NFC team Packers, in terms of like these are still teams that should rise to the top, definitely make the playoffs for the rest of that 4-win batch. And Panthers, man, I'll just give them props at least.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna at least shout them out.
We got to, man, because and they were calling Bryce Young a bust too. So you see, we told them not to, but they kind of split carries this weekend. I don't know if you looked at the box score. Like Chubber had like 14 carries and Rico had 17, and I'm like, oh shit, here y'all go with this. But they won, so I mean,
Chuba had a good year. He had a good year last year. It wasn't world beater or anything. I think he finished with 8 most rushing yards this year. So I understand why you don't want him to completely dissolve from the offense. He did nice things. He does nice things, but like I said, I don't think he's special. Like, I'm glad Rico didn't disappear. If Rico would have disappeared, that would have been crimes against humanity. If Rico would have disappeared. So, but yeah, I mean, props to them, man. I mean, I think they still need a really high draft pick. So, hey, Panthers, maybe we stop winning some of these games. You need a couple more You need a couple more, like, top 15, top 12 draft picks to really help get you over the top. But I don't know, Joey, did you got someone from this mix that you wanted to add in?
Oh, I just wanted to add to your Panthers. Did you see that they have a fan podcast, the Meow Mix? It's like a big Panthers podcast. And the fans were so pissed off at the beginning of the year because they were mad that they stopped the show. They made a whole plea to their fans. Were like, we're done. We can't handle this anymore. It's too much. It's tiring. And they wrote the whole big article came out today because they're 3-0 since they stopped their podcast.
Don't bring that shit back.
Can the guys come back? Or are they screwed for the year?
Keep them out.
They gotta go. No Meow Mix for the rest. Listen, you can tweet, you can make on Facebook, but no mics, no recording. If Bryce Young and them should go burn down their fucking studio.
The problem really started at Meow Mix. First of all. You can't be the Panthers and go call Panthers podcast Meow Mix.
That's funny.
That's crazy though. That's an interesting time. I mean, Joe, we already heard about your Bears, but I mean, would you put the Bears as like, where do you think the Bears are going to finish? While we're talking to you, where do you think the Bears are going to finish in the NFC? Just, gut feeling. And is that spot good enough to make the playoffs?
Yeah, they're still a medium of the pack team. My goal with them is always, are they playing meaningful games in December, right? So that's where I view it. They're still ascending because you're right. You have a Lions problem. I have a Lions and Packers and probably Vikings problem. So until they can hop one of those teams, they're still inching their way up. So I think they're middle of the pack, but if they can get lucky with a few wins here and sniff some playoffs, I'd be ecstatic. But they're on the rise. They have not risen. Yeah,
they. I would say between the Lions and Packers, they got the third best quarterback. I mean, and that takes a little bit more. Now they might have the best head coach of the three. I think Dan Campbell's. I think personally on game day, it's Ben Johnson, LaFleur, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's actually. I would say he's the worst coach in the NFC North because he doesn't do shit. And when he does do something or has a decision, it's crazy and erratic, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, motivational speaker. That's all he is. But he has no fucking clue what's going, because I just get that fourth down all the time shit is gonna bite them in the ass again. So y'all, he is the worst out of all of them.
Yep. All right. Well, that's kind of that. Let's wrap this show up with, let's look at the trade deadline. It's coming up. I love trade deadline stuff. We already got trade, like Greg Newsome got traded cornerback, but let's kind of look at an all trade deadline offense here, right? Let's build an offense. I'll pick my offense. You pick your offense. Let's run through it quick. I'll build an offense out of the players that I think are most likely to be traded or who should be traded that I want to see traded or not maybe don't want to see traded, but I think there's a high likelihood of them being traded. So I'm going to pick one quarterback. We're going to pick one running back each, two receivers each, and one tight end. Not a lot of tight end options, but there's guys who can move. So I'll kick it off. I think one at quarterback. After I kick mine, you can kick yours at each position. I think the Saints and Browns need a quarterback. Not many teams need a quarterback right now, but I think the Saints and Browns need a cornerback right now. I think Russell Wilson's a fair candidate, but I don't think anyone really wants any Russell Wilson at this point. I think Jameis Winston's a fair candidate, but you know what you're getting with Jameis at this point. A lot of chucks, a lot of yards, a lot of picks. And I don't know how much that matters to a team that's kind of out. Anthony Richardson is a name I got my eye on it. I mean, hear me out. I think someone's going to look at it. I think someone like the Saints is going to see Anthony Richardson on a rookie contract and think of him as like, oh, they want to be that girlfriend who's going to be able to fix the really toxic dude. It's like, I can fix him. Like that type of shit with Anthony Richardson. I think I could see someone like the Saints like taking in a reclamation project because they think they can fix him. I don't know why, because I think they're also going to sell off other assets. But clearly, the Colts are going to commit to Daniel Jones. There's no reason they shouldn't. And at this point, Anthony Richardson is off of a job through this season, through next season. He's done in Indianapolis. Let's be honest about that. So while he's still on a rookie deal, I think there's a team who might want to swoop in, maybe give him run, maybe give him. You can't tell me Anthony Richardson couldn't go to the Saints right now and compete to start. It's Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. These guys suck. Tyler Shuck was their second round pick. He can't even beat out Spencer Rattler, and that guy sucks.
Anthony Richardson is bad. I watched him.
He sucks too. But that's my point, though.
Listen, Debbie does Dallas, Sarah J. I can start naming some people that suck, but he sucks worse than them. I'm trying to tell you. The Cherokee, Pinky, Triple, he sucks worse than them. So I'm not sure on that one, Austin. And listen, I've been telling you, I want to see fucking Shador play. So before Flacco got traded, I want to see Shador play. But listen to this. Is Jacoby Brissett showing the Arizona Cardinals, hey, we don't need Kyler. Let's get away from that contract. Let's get him up out of here. Send him to either New Orleans or let's think Cleveland.
Probably New Orleans. There's not many teams.
So, I think Kyler Murray, if I wanted to trade for somebody, because Jacoby Brissett is playing well. So that's kind of showing Arizona, hey, listen, let's just go get a rookie in the draft. Let's trade this guy up out of here. But I think Kyler never wanted to be in Arizona. So I think that's a guy that somebody can kind of grab. That's still super talented, and he's shown he can win. So that's my quarterback, Kyler Murray.
That's an interesting. I was not expecting that one. I mean, the Saints. I think the problem for the Saints is they got no cap room. Which is crazy because it's not like they're a talented roster, but they don't got cap room,
which is crazy.
So I thought you were going to say like they would trade for Brissett, perhaps, which I think Brissett is going to at least draw some interest, perhaps. And
but they want somebody for the future.
Yeah, but that's exactly. So I could see the Saints. Actually, that's a good one. I kind of like that Kyler Murray to the Saints. I could see that. I could get down with that. All right, let's go to the running back position for our all trade deadline team. So my team started with Anthony Richardson. Yours just started with Kyler Murray. God, that's a good one. All right, running backs. Teams like the Texans could use a running back. They got old Joe Mixon who's coming back. They got old Nick Chubb who's in there. Woody Marks looks all right. Still a young guy, but he's RB3 right now. So maybe they do. Maybe the Commanders need one with Bob Merritt, and they got McNichols and Eckler. Maybe they need one. And then there's a couple names on the board. The obvious one is Breece Hall, and I'm going to take Breece Hall. I think you're going to take Breece Hall. The Jets might need to blow up the whole damn thing at this point, and they would make out great by trading Breece Hall. That's any team's RB1 that they can plug in day one. He's amazing in the pass game. He's a good rusher. You can give him a lot of volume. And for the Jets side of it, they just, at this point, y'all need to stack up draft picks. Breece Hall is getting you your best return. They probably keep Garrett Wilson around, even though I'd love for them to send him on over to Green Bay. They can send Sauce Gardner with Garrett Wilson over to Green Bay if they would like. But Breece Hall, I think it's pretty obvious here. I got to stack him on my all trade offense here. Who do you got?
Miami is looking bad, so I think they can unload A-Chain right now. I
Ooh, you think they'll do that?
Yeah, because to me, I think if the Jets want to win, you got to keep somebody on offense. So they'll be dumb if they get rid of him because he's a foundational piece in the NFL right now. You just need a back that can catch the ball, can run the ball. But to me, I think A-Chain could get out of Miami, and you got to think add him to a team who just need a one-hitter quitter because that guy, he doesn't need that many carries because I'm telling you, he can turn a 5-yard play into an 80-yard touchdown and like that. So I will go with A-Chain, or this is tonight. Detroit is showing you they kind of don't need Montgomery anymore. Jahmyr Gibbs could be their full-time running back, and I think they could get something for Montgomery right now because I don't think they need him. And slowly but surely, his stats are starting to trickle down. So I think Montgomery is another guy that can kind of be on the way.
That's a good call out.
Yeah,
I like that one, and you got a really good point there. And we're seeing how many teams can get away with like just kind of a dude as your RB2, and just as long as they complement well, adds a good change of pace, something different. You really don't need to have freaking a potential 1B to have a really good dynamic 1-2 punch. Like Joey said with the Bears. I don't know how to say his name, Manunga or something, but he's fine. The Packers with Emmanuel Wilson, that's a really good number 2. He's been very solid for the Packers. You don't need to it helps for sure. That's another good name, Iman. I think you're kicking my ass on this one right now. I think I'm going to make up for some time though on receivers. So the other guys obviously for running back. So like Alvin Kamara, I know that they said they're not trading him, but like come on, Saints. Freaking trade Kamara at this point. He's a little injured. He's getting older. You guys aren't winning shit. There's no point to hold on to Kamara. And Jerome Ford out there in Cleveland, lots of talks he's going to get moved. He's a good contributor in pass protection and in the pass game. So I could see Jerome Ford also getting dealt. But I'm sticking Breece Hall. Who are you picking? Are you picking David Montgomery or A-Chain? I saw the Dolphins.
I'm going to go with A-Chain. I think they could get a 2 and a 3 for A-Chain. Outside of Breece, I think Breece Hall can get you a first. But outside of Breece Hall, I think A-Chain can get a 2 or 3, and Kamara probably can get a 3. So I'll go with A-Chain.
Okay. All right. Let's go over to the receivers. But the Steelers could probably use a receiver. The Giants could use a receiver, and perhaps the Bills could use a receiver. A couple teams could use a receiver. Shoot, even the Dolphins could, but Lord knows they won't. A couple names out there to be thinking of. We got 2 here, but I'm going to go with the 2 that I think. One for me, and I've been screaming all year, DJ Moore. I just brought it up again. Right, we're talking about a guy with 1 game this season with 5 catches, 1 game this season with 6 targets, and 3 games this season with 3 catches. The Chicago Bears are just simply not using DJ Moore in their offense. I can't make light of it. And he would be a great candidate for a team looking for a true, stable wide receiver 2 in terms of the talent, some contract length still left on. He won't be a rental. And on the Bears side, like Joey said earlier, they've already plugged in Roman Dunze. They've already plugged in Luther Burden. They've plugged in the guys that they feel are going to be the future of the wide receiver crew that for Ben Johnson and whatnot, even though Rome, was there before him. But DJ Moore seems like he's on the outs. And again, I want to see DJ Moore in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs another receiver. They are you take away DK from that receiver room, they have nothing. They're pretty much with Buster Skoranek, Roman Wilson, and Calvin Austin as the receivers. That is piss poor junk. And you are competing right now. You are leading the AFC North. Go get yourself a DJ Moore to complement DK on the outside. You throw DJ in the slot, and you got some really good stuff. Before Johnson, the Bears in July 2024, they also signed DJ Moore to an extension. So like I said, a team was going to go get him. You got a guy for a couple of seasons. And that's a great little incentive piece. It's also going to make him cost a little bit more. So I'm going to take DJ Moore for 1. And there's a couple names I could go with here, and this one's going to hurt me a little bit. I think the Packers are going to trade Romeo Doubs.
Oh, wow.
I don't want it to happen, but we're entering that point now with this receiving room where someone's going to have to move. They just gave Christian Watson money to stay around next year, $13 million for Christian Watson next year. They got Matthew Golden on a rookie deal. They got Jaden Reed on a rookie deal. They just gave a hell of a lot of money to Zach Tom. They just gave a lot of money to Jordan Love, a lot of money to Jacobs. There's no world where you can like give Romeo much of a contract extension, if at all, where he's going to demand probably 4 years, a good chunk of change, probably 14 plus million a year, where the Packers just aren't going to be able to afford that, especially with Micah Parsons in the building now. So I think while he's kind of on his last year here of his contract, the Packers are going to ship him off, and he's playing some really good football. There's going to be a team out there that's willing to pay a mid-round draft pick, 5th-round pick for Romeo Doubs, not give up much, and see him as their true number 2 guy. He's very reliable in the red zone. He's one of Jordan Love's favorite targets. He's great with slot route. His route running has only gotten better. And again, like I said, it's going to hurt me. But when you think long-term here, after this season, the Packers receiving core is looking like Golden, Watson, Reed, Wicks, especially with how they're not using Wicks, he's nothing for you. That's 4 guys. Even if you keep Dobbs and you got rid of Dontavian, like how much are you going to pay Dobbs to be one of 4 guys that is going to get 4 targets a game? So I don't think it's going to be logistical for them to keep him around. I think they're going to sell high on him. He's proven his worth right now with the dude's down. He's looked really good. I think someone's going to come calling, someone who's going to want to pay him, who can pay him. I'm going to throw Romeo in there. Who do you got?
Please, let's get Garrett Wilson out of New York. Like I listen, you can keep Breece Hall, but get Garrett Wilson up out of there. So I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson with my first receiver. Now before he got hurt tonight, I would have said Mike Evans because clearly Ibuka is moving to the number 1 guy. You got to think Chris Godwin's coming back. And listen, Tej Johnson has been playing his ass off the past few games. He had a couple good plays tonight. So I think Baker could get rid of one of those. But if not that, damn, I had somebody else in my head. I had Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans before he got hurt.
Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Jacoby Myers.
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. Listen, it's Chris Olave needs to get out of New Orleans. Just clearly, Ohio State receivers can ball. He needs to get somewhere where he hasn't had a good quarterback since he's been in New Orleans. Get him on a team with a good quarterback who can get that guy the ball, because clearly we are seeing Ohio State guys are number 1 receivers. Even Marvin Harrison Jr. is starting to get better and better every week. So Chris Olave, that was my second guy. So Garrett Wilson. And if Mike Evans wasn't hurt, I would get Mike Evans up out of there and Chris Olave. So, yes, please.
Interesting. I would feel like Evans would stay around when you consider the Buccaneers, what they got going right now. Wouldn't you want him? Knowing that Godwin's also injury prone. He gets hurt almost every year at this point. Jalen McMillan's been hurt all season so far. I mean, if you get rid of Godwin or you get rid of Evans and Godwin gets hurt, now you're down to Ibuka and Tez Johnson and maybe Jalen McMillan. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, hey, he is old. They might want to sell out while they can, ship him to someone else. But Olave, too, man. Like, he's so banged up. His brain is half mush at this point. I wonder what he would cost the team. I also truly think Jacoby Myers is going to get out. Like, he was demanding more money this offseason. The Raiders said, pound sand, buddy. The Raiders added wide receiver talent, and this team needs draft picks badly. They suck. So, and I think Jacoby Myers at least gets them something. So I could see him. My guys are for receivers is DJ Moore, Romeo. You got Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson,
let's go. All right, tight ends to wrap up the show. I'm going Mark Andrews. Get him the hell out of Baltimore. I think they're going to go in sell-off mode. They already got Isaiah Likely in place. I mean, he's a good enough tight end. Mark Andrews is doing enough, but he's getting a little older. You guys aren't winning to begin with. Let's be honest, this season's pretty much dead in the water. What's the point of having Mark Andrews around when you have a guy like Likely as well? Get something out of him while you still can. I think between like him or Njoku, I know Michael Mayer is on it, and which is crazy. The Raiders just drafted Michael Mayer in the first round, and they're already like, yep, we'll trade him. That was a crazy bad pick, but I'm going Mark Andrews here for tight end. Who you got?
Nobody better ever get Njoku. I mean, that guy can't catch a fucking cold butt naked in fucking Alaska's beach. So don't get him. I'm with you, but I'm gonna stay on the same team. But you got to think Isaiah Likely hasn't really been present this year. I think that's a guy that they can kind of get off. I mean, I haven't really seen him doing. I mean, in last year he had some breakout games and starting to show his athletic ability. Now I've been hearing he's not the hardest worker in the world, so he's a guy that doesn't really push himself at practice every day, so that can be an issue. But I was thinking Mark Andrews got to stay there. I think sometimes you got to keep your legends. We already let our guy go because he can't stay out of heaven and earth massage parlor, but we can't. Mark Andrews is a guy we can't let go. He's just a staple in the city. He's a staple on the team. He just exemplifies everything what the Ravens say. So I'll go at Isaiah Likely. Same team, just Isaiah Likely up out of there. Because listen, trust me, I've been hearing it. He doesn't even want to be there.
Oh boy, they just give him money not too long ago, huh?
But when Andrews came back, his kind of catches fell down a little bit. And he thought those games that he was showing off when Andrews was hurt last year, that it was going to kind of push Andrews down, and it really did. They're going with the for sure thing. And then what really hurt is when Andrews dropped the pass in the playoff, and he's like, see, I've been fucking making plays all year. So
that play hurt. That I'm not even a Ravens fan, and that as a football fan, that play cut my soul up a little bit, that drop. That's interesting. No, I think that's fair. They were like in a very weird love triangle between Lamar and who he's throwing the ball to, between Likely and Andrews. It felt like a toxic love triangle there for a little bit. All right. And then last thing, I got to say this on baseball. That's our teams. All right. Let's finish up our teams quick. So my team, my all trade deadline team goes Anthony Richardson, get him up out of there. Someone might want him. Breece Hall at running back, DJ Moore and Romeo Doubs at receiver, and Mark Andrews at tight end. Iman, your team, you got Kyler Murray.
Yes, Garrett Wilson. I had A-Chain at running back. I had Garrett Wilson and Olave at receiver, and I had Isaiah Likely at tight end.
All right. I'm curious to see who gets more right on this, if any of these guys even get moved at all. But last thing on baseball, the Mariners and Toronto Blue Jays closing out Game 7 here. Mariners were up 3-1. Blue Jays George Springer hit a massive home run. But last note about the freaking Brewers, man. Cal Raleigh, Game 7, home run. Julio Rodriguez, Game 7, home run. George Springer, Game 7, home run. Their stars are showing up and hitting the ball and contributing runs when it matters most, something the Brewers could not do. And that's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to watch stars having huge plays in the biggest games, knowing the Brewers. I love Christian Yelich, but I don't know if he even sniffed first base that entire Dodgers series, man. That's the last thing I'm going to say. So Dodgers in a nail biter.
But I want to say one more thing to you fucking Yankee fans. Y'all look at Cal Raleigh, what he's doing in the playoff, and your so-called MVP fucking P who hasn't showed up in one single playoff. Fucking Aaron Judge, not the fucking MVP. Cal Raleigh, I've been saying it from the jump.
Cal Raleigh actually beat Aaron Judge's record, I think, tonight. Cal Raleigh made MLB history, breaking Aaron Judge's 2022 AL record for most home runs in a season with his home run tonight.
Who's the MVP? Who's the MVP?
Put a motherfucking bow on it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Until Friday, y'all have a good rest of your week. We'll see you Friday talking about some more stuff with a Fan Friday coming up. Got a couple good things to talk through, but until then, we'll see you later.
Bye.